As for the side plates, I've pinned these plates together as usual, but I haven't drilled all the way through, so they will be blind holes. You can see those blind holes, which some will need to be a bit deeper. And on this plate, I can now glue this template, and that will just show me where to drill the screw holes. Here's the upper receiver. We've got this long cut for the hammer, as well as its spring, and this shorter, wider cut for a lug on the lower receiver. This part isn't necessary, it was just present in this component. I've already screwed in place the trunnion for the lower receiver, and I've also glued on the front trunnion. There's a little magnet there to hold the magazine. Otherwise it is just a plate with a block attached, and that block fits into there, and this piece glues onto the lower, just like that. I did this because there was so little space. This was just the strongest way to do it. I recommend testing the mechanism before you pin the upper and lower receiver together, just to make sure everything lines up. I'd say that's pretty good. Before gluing the grip in place, there are two important things to do. First is to put a pin in here to carry a spring and to round over this edge, especially that corner. The hammer spring has a small hole here because the return spring is held by sort of a split pin, but I've just made this from very soft wire. That split pin will go in, you fold that over, and that way the spring is central to the hammer rather than set to the side. And it just guides the hammer a bit better and makes it more reliable. I'm going to thin this down until it is just the right thickness to fit between those spaces. So right now the hammer does not move freely, so I need to thin it down just a little more. But that's one of the advantages of having a solid wood hammer. As for the length of the spring, make it as long as it could possibly be. And if the tension is too light, you just gradually cut it shorter. So it's quite light. You can see at rest there's almost no tension on it. The sear arrangement is very simple. Trigger just pushes the sear down. As for the sear itself, it needs a very light duty spring here, and it needs this additional plate here that interacts with the charging handle. Now the sear is very lightly sprung, so the trigger has a booster spring, just so the trigger press isn't super light. To stop the trigger travelling too far forward, I installed a little stopper on the other side plate. This part of the charging handle is made from 2 layers of ply, and that can be glued into the upper. Thanks to this gap here, that can be assembled quite easily. Here's the complete and installed charging handle. There's a block with a long screw going through it, the handle itself, and a return spring. It is just held to the side with a little pin and held to the charging handle with a screw. Nice and simple. This means that the left plate, of course, has to be cut out for the charging handle and screwed in place. And I also need to screw in the right plate because otherwise you'll never be able to access that spring. Now, I'll be making the front side out of bamboo. This cutout is to clear the magazine, and the flat part glues on here, just like that. And you could make it out of aluminium or PVC. Just make sure it is no less than about 30 millimeters inside diameter. Any much smaller, you'll risk the rubber bands hitting the inside. As for the front grip, you could make it out of dowel, you could even make it out of 19mm pine. The previous design already had a slot here, so I thought I may as well use it. But a screw will be strong enough, there is no need to use a mortise and tenon.